All right, y'all. So this is a general read. This can go for all signs. And I'm going to start with the Bible read and then we'll get into the cards. So when I did the blind Bible pull, I pulled on First Kings and it went from the first chapter into chapter 3. So the first two chapters talk about how David is king, and David had promised the woman that he had his son Solomon with that when it was time, Solomon would he would relinquish his throne to Solomon. Of course, there were other women that David was with and had children with as well. And there is another child of David's that, in a sense, tried to bully the situation, even though David was not sick or relinquishing his throne, but was setting the stage for it to appear to be that way so that when David did die, people wouldn't question who was next in line, right? So Solomon's mother got wind of this and she went to David and said, hey, look, you remember our agreement, right? You promised Solomon would have the throne. And she let David know what was happening and what people were being told and how people were acting. And so what David did was held a ceremony with Solomon and under God and with a witness. And there he anointed him and then made it known that he was going to be next in line. The part I am going to read is going to be David's charge to Solomon, okay? So it says, when the time drew near for David to die, he gave a charge to Solomon his son. I am about to go away of all the earth, he said, so be strong, act like a man, and observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands. His laws and regulations are as written in the law of Moses. Do this so that you may prosper in all that you do and wherever you go, and that the Lord may keep his promise to me. If your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. Says, now you yourself know what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to me, what he did to the two commanders of Israel's armies. He killed them, shedding their blood in peacetime as if in battle, and with that blood he stained the belt around his waist and sandals in his feet. The deal with him according to your wisdom, but do not let his gray head go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness to his sons, and let them be among those who eat at your table. It says, they stood by me when I fled from your brother. And remember, you have with you Shimei, son of Jerah, Benjamin from Bahiram, who called down bitter curses on me the day I went to Mahanaim. When he came down to meet me at the Jordan, I swore to him by the Lord, I will not put you to death by the sword. But now do not consider him innocent. It says, you are a man of wisdom. You will know what to do with him. Bring his gray head down to the grave in blood. Then David rested with his ancestors and was buried in the city of David. He had reigned 40 years over Israel, 7 years in Hebron, and 33 in Jerusalem. So Solomon sat on the throne of his father David, and his rule was firmly established. And it says, Solomon's mother asked him, "Do you come peacefully?" He answered, "Yes, peacefully." Then he added, "I have something to say to you." "You may say it," she replied. "As you know," he said, "the kingdom was mine. All Israel looked to me as their king. But things changed, and the kingdom has gone to my brother, for it has come to him from the Lord. Now I have one request to make of you. Do not refuse me." "You may make it," she said. So he continued, "Please ask King Solomon. He will not refuse you, to give me this woman as his wife." And then Bathsheba said, "Very well, I'll speak to you for the king." And then she bowed down to her feet to the king. He had the throne, brought the king's mother. She sat down at his right hand and says, "I have one small request to make of you." She said, "Do not refuse me." The king replied, "Make it, my mother. I will not refuse you." So she said, "Let your brother be given marriage to, this woman." King Solomon answered his mother, "Why do you request this? You might as well request the kingdom for him. After all, he is my older brother. Yes, for him and the priest." Then Solomon swore to the Lord, "May God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if, his brother does not pay for his life for this request. And now, as surely as the Lord lives, he who has established me securely on the throne of my father David and has found dynasty for me and has promised this woman, he shall be put to death." So King Solomon gave orders to Benjamin, right, to strike down this other guy, who's requesting his wife. And it says, the priest king said, "Go back to your fields. You deserve to die, but I will not put you to death now, because you carried the ark of the sovereign Lord before your father David shared all my father's hardships." So it's a fight against loyalty, right? And then power struggle, and then your hierarchy, your chain of command. So here you have the older brother of Solomon, who was setting up the stage for people to think that the kingdom was going to him. The father dies, the kingdom goes to Solomon, but now the older brother is wanting to request Solomon's wife. Solomon does not want to hand over his wife, right? And so he pretty much is like sitting at the table laying everything out. Well, okay, this is my brother. Okay, they did do this. Yes, they did save me this. Yes, they gave me the kingdom. So he goes to hand over the wife. And then pretty much decrees that he's going to be put to death, but not be put to death by him. So I have a feeling that this read is going to be on a masculine. This could be a divine masculine that is being set up to take on or get ready to take on some big responsibility as far as spirituality goes, and is not fully aware of who his enemies are, who he shall not work with, and who is plotting against him for when this does happen. So we're going to get into the cards and see what they say. So we have these hoes, establishing dominance. Dude, don't go in the bathroom. What's that sound? What's my secret power? What's there a ton of in heaven? We have Old MacDonald had a farm. just saw this upsetting video, please retweet hashtag stop my vagina and surf them. So right now, from these cards, I would say that there is a masculine that is not aware that there are people put in his path, females primarily, to entice sexual activity, to get him to engage in sexual activity, and could possibly be engaging in this sexual activity, right? And people are recording it or listening to it, maybe for blackmail later. But with the old McDonald that had a farm, that's letting you know that this is planned. Okay, they are farming, they are gathering, herding a bunch of women together, to have this like revolving door, this continuous cycle of approaching this man and trying to gain this man's interest and trying to get this man to engage in things that are in a sense going to defile him or possibly harm him physically down the road, to where he can't be handed this role within the spiritual realm. Right now, they could possibly know that this masculine, when he is bored, gets into this, like it said, serfdom, like, so surfing sex sites or chat lines or just women bars, wherever, whatever, when they are bored, right? When they are alone. And that could be when this person is being approached. And this approach could happen through text, technology. Somebody could be notifying these people when this person is alone, so that these things bombard him before he has time to think about it. So here we have the return, okay? Something is coming full cycle. There's a return to self that is happening. Somebody is in the transition period of where they once felt broken. They are now going through a process where they are going to feel whole again, okay? We have breakup or separation. What isn't repaired eventually ends. So this is letting Divine Masculine know that if you are currently in a relationship right now, and this is a relationship you want to hold on to, you're going to need to make sure that you are addressing the things that have not been repaired, because the relationship that you're going to have to uphold in order for the role that you are taking on, it needs to be very solid, because this is a spiritual war. You are going to have negative things, dark things, entities, demons, devils, all coming at you. And if you do not know your partner, and your partner does not know you, there is no sure way that you guys are going to be able to have each other's backs during this process. And then we have using people for ego. Superiority hides insecurity. So this Divine Masculine right now could be dealing with an ego death as well. The universe's message for this masculine is acceptance. Okay, it is time to accept who you are. It is time to accept the flaws about you so that you can disarm its power over you and disarm the power that it holds over your mind and the thoughts that you have about yourself. You also need to be in acceptance with Spirit's terms on life. It's time to release things that are not beneficial to you, that are not healthy for you. You also need to have mindfulness of the human spirit and salve the soul. So your human spirit is different from your soul, okay? You need to be able to differentiate those. Yes, it's good for them to be integrated and work together as a whole, but when things get really sticky and you're in a process of trying to relearn yourself, you definitely want to know your soul versus your human spirit. It says, remember, there's good in the worst of us and bad in the best of us, so nobody is perfect. So use common sense and accept the whole lot of us, meaning what part of them do they display the most? People have their bad days. People have their bad traits, their bad characteristics, but which one is dominant? You clearly only want to really deal with the people that have the positive dominance, right? Not to say to turn your back on the people that have bad dominant, but just as you do your shadow side, there's a time and a place to incorporate those people. We have harmony here. It is time for you to get into sync with yourself, your mind, body, and spirit. So this is not just a call. This is a knock at your door right now. This is definitely a crossroad for you. And this is an invite that divine is giving this divine masculine an invite to release all your hurt, to release all your insecurities, to release the not feeling good and good enough or worthy enough, and to be able to level up and start coming into one with yourself so that you are not in pain mentally or physically anymore. And we have focus. So it's time to focus. You're going to need to learn to apply properly your virtual force, your fearless mind, and your staunch heart. Okay. You're going to focus on something. You're going to energize it and then complete it so that it can energize you. So no more half-done projects. No more talking about it and not taking any action on it. It says, remember, without focus, there can be no fulfillment. And then we have purpose. So, divine masculine, you are a soul, believe it or not, even though you've been struggling, even though you're in a lot of pain from whatever it is you've experienced in your life, and it's stunting you or holding you back, making you stagnant, or just the people you deal with are refusing to allow you to grow and push forward. You have been reincarnated, okay, and you came here with a purpose, a soul purpose, to make a difference on humanity this round. There is a protection against being seduced by that which would divert you from your path. So when I say crossroads, you could be at that crossroad right now where the devil is stepping it up one more notch on you and is really applying hardcore seduction tactics, whether that be seduction with drugs, alcohol, short-term what do you call it, satisfactions, whatever. Divine wants you to turn away from these things that are seductive, these things that are not holy, these things that should not be done unless there is intent for it to do good behind it. Okay. So universe wants you to get back to your creativity and your genuinity about who you are. There's a contract between your power and the higher power right now. And so purpose makes all the minutes of your life worth making life worth living. And also making this change, stepping away from all things seductive or all things that are short-term gratifications is a really good way to purify and cleanse your karmic debt. So you're going to want to remember that purpose is vision made visible and viable. Okay. Here I am getting another confirmation, that this is Divine Soul that I am speaking to, and this is your moment, your ascension, your cycle of releasing now is what you're going to be doing. There is a change that happened to you and it left you very uncertain. Most High says stay calm and stay with him. And what is happening is you are being cleansed, you're being purified, you are being redirected, and you are being guided. This is like a father holding its child's hand after being found lost in the park for a couple hours, right? You're going to be turned into an honest, kind-hearted, fair, and gentle man with a gentle temperament that makes you a really good friend to the people around you, and a excellent partner to the person you choose to spend your life with. And it's also going to make you passionate and loving about the things that you choose to set out and encounter in your life. Okay. We have the Two of Clubs. So split reality. You are probably sitting in the bridge dimension is what I like to call it. You are in transition from the reality that you're used to living. And you're sitting in like limbo while your spirit team and divine gets your new timeline prepped and ready for you to start walking. Okay. So you could definitely feel uncomfortable. You could feel frustrated. You could feel confused. But just know that is because you are constantly being placed in and out of your reality. You are aligned with a companion right now. Okay. And it says fewer people is going to give you a deeper safety with each other. You're experiencing the brother's mirror effect, which is what other people couldn't face, you're now in the process of learning how to integrate those things. So this would be a bloodline type thing, what your mother could not face about herself, and you've picked up those traits. You are now going to be shown and taught how to integrate those things into who you are, so that you can grow past the level of what your parental units are at and be successful. Then we have the Knight of Clubs. And this is, you are starting to get curious about what the truth really is now. You could have been spending some time with people around you, speaking on things that maybe is different than what you knew them to be. Could have been brushing it off, but now you're starting to notice patterns. You're starting to notice almost like the same issue over and over again, but just different people brought in for the issue to keep reoccurring. And so now you're starting to question, is what you've been told, or is the perception that you had correct this whole time? You're starting to reevaluate the people and things in your life. Here we have the SUV: protection, family, security, and travel. You could be about to get a new vehicle. Divine is letting you know that when it comes time to choose that vehicle, you're going to want to choose an SUV or bigger, not a car. We have the betrayed heart. Love and heartbreak, loss of emotional safety. There is somebody that either you have done something to, and this could be somebody that you both share a great amount of love for each other, and whatever this was done is going to cause the loss of emotional safety between you two, destabilizing the relationship and causing truth to be sought out. Right now, it could also be that this was done to you. This could have been done to you by a partner, or like how I just said, you're starting to realize things you've been told your whole life are not necessarily true, and you're recognizing those patterns. You're starting to question things. So this could also be a family member or a close friend, somebody you have a great amount of love for. You're now starting to realize that what you thought it is not. And you're having to go back through, put your memories together, replay conversations, replay body language, behavior, people's actions, and put the bigger picture back together to get the actual reality of what it was. Okay. So with this deck here, we have the Three of Pentacles. We have the King of Wands. So these two cards together show me that an older female figure right here is a teacher to women, okay, and teaches these women how to be appealing to this man here, okay. Now, this girl right here, she's listening, she's taking it in, right? But she's not actually doing like this one here is. And he's noticing that. He's noticing the difference between the two, right? But is he aware of what the older woman is doing? Or is he under the impression, like the old saying goes, a man always chooses a woman that is like his mother? So is he under the impression that his mother should be picking out his woman, or his mother should be teaching his woman? And that really isn't a saying you should follow unless you do truly get along with your mother, but not too well, like to where it's inappropriate, right? And if you are someone who does not get along with your mother, you really don't want them to train these women, okay? So this one back here is smart. She's taking notes. She's putting things together as a visual. She's kind of sitting to the side, but she's still engaged. So she's not out of being taught, but she's not like gun-ho, let me get it done right now type thing. She's gonna weigh her options. Here we have the Page of Cups. There is another female. This female could now possibly be booted out of this group of females because of whatever. Here you see the water behind her, okay, and she's got the fish in her cup. So to me, she wanted to be the one to catch the fish, right, which would be him. And also we could be looking at somebody who did something to could have did something to a water sign. So maybe he's a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or maybe one of the competition females was a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, that this Page of Cups did something to. Whatever this female did, okay, her full intentions was to turn the star in reverse, okay? So to make the star look unappealing, to make the star look like a thief, to make the star look like a liar, to make the star look as though, oh, see, that's not her, because she's taking from here and she's taking from there and then putting it there. So that's not genuine. That's not her. And then the goal is to put the sun in a downward motion, right? A depressed state, a dark place mentally, while that Page of Cups comes in with the Page of Wands. Okay, so she could have had every intent of being sexual with this male. And reason being is because that would have either one, allowed her the ability to take any opportunities that he had built up for himself, or that would have completely shut down and blocked any opportunities of the other star female here coming back in and working with him. But the Justice is in reverse, meaning they did not succeed. It did not follow through. It did not get complete. And then we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So he probably has now woken up and realized that this has been happening. Okay, there are probably several females in his past when he goes back to think about it. and is now starting to realize that this cycle of the females being taught, they're competing for him, they come in, they sleep with him, and then they take him for all he's got, right? But remember, the older woman is the one teaching these females this, so you have to look at it as when they come in and they take him for all he's got, the older woman is then directing these females what to do with what it is they have taken from him. Okay, so at the end of the day, the ultimate core betrayal is coming from the older female figure. And I think that is probably being illuminated at this time with the current situation that was experienced. Here we have the Page of Pentacles. There is a female here who is refusing to stoop down to that level. She's not coming in with a cup that is filled with somebody else's stuff. She's not coming in to use sex. She is coming in to show this person how to generate their own pentacles, their own worth. Here, you're now seeing a older female figure again to the child, the inner child of this person, that is coming in to distract them from noticing what this person is doing. They do not want this male to realize that this woman here is coming in for the benefit of him and not themselves or the mother figure, the older female figure, like the rest are. Okay, they don't want them to figure this out, and so they are distracting them with all these cups here that are filled with all these goodies, making them think that, like, no, we're gonna take care of you. Okay, you don't worry about these guys. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna take care of you. And this very well could be the mother, or just could be older females that the mother is incorporating to come in and give that sense of security, surety. But if you see here in the picture, there's a small little peek through that window. So that could mean that his soul is starting to wipe the windows clean, right? And be able to see out, to see what it really is. Or this could signify, surely, that there is somebody behind the scenes that is unseen, that is conducting all of what has been happening to this person, this male. The house outside appears to be bright and yellow, right? So this does tells me that this is a mother figure. This is a family dynamic. This is something that has been happening ever since childhood, growing up, this family home type thing. And this mother figure plays on this person's inner child and inner child wounds to keep control over this person and the growth and the knowledge that they obtain. The whole goal was to hijack their chariot, so their momentum. Okay, so this mother figure's goal was to hijack this divine masculine's momentum. Momentum to make money, momentum to come across opportunities, momentum to start their own life, momentum to explore who they are as a person. Whatever it is, the momentum is what she is taking. The speed, the transportation in order to make things happen. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, they're in reverse. Okay, so it's stating like this is what the intent was, this is what she's been trying to do, this is what she has most likely been successful at, right? Because here we have him as a king, so this is an adult male now, right? But it's in reverse, okay? And it's because this pentacle here stepped in and maybe smudged the window a little bit and said, you can't see. Look. Okay? Brought awareness to it. So this masculine has also been stolen from majority of his life. These guys had complete and total utter means of making sure that every person was to walk away. And the way that they do that is by bringing out everyone that has ever been involved and trained and put the seduction into effect. Unfortunately, the Ten of Pentacles is where Divine is going to make sure this Divine Masculine ends up. Okay? This Divine Masculine deserves to experience a family unit that is built on honesty, integrity, loyalty, love, understanding, okay? As well as prosperity and abundance. So this is not going to be happening anymore. This walking away shit and leaving them high and dry to look back and reminisce about past partners that temporarily come and engage every so often and then dip off again, right? So when they realized that this masculine had a female here that was starting to wipe these dirty windows clean to bring him some awareness, they put in another plan into motion. They needed to weaken the strength, the longevity, the endurance that this female has, okay? And they also needed to make sure that their money, or his money, okay, and his ability to work or stay focused at work was affected. So not only is she now tired, okay, and she's feeling weird, she's like, whoa, I normally could run like the Energizer Bunny. Why am I all of a sudden like feeling like I'm growing old and losing, it's not sweat, it's blood. So it's like blood, sweat, and tears, right? But not going anywhere. And then looking at him funny, you see how he's looking, he's like, what? Like, he don't even understand. He got dressed for the job. He's out there, but he can't focus. Right? It's because everything he does gets switched around by these little guys. Then there's lack of creation, lack of communication. There are notebooks full of blank pages. So there are thoughts that can't even form in this masculine's head well enough for him to put a picture together and understand what is happening. Okay? And while this masculine is watching this feminine who he was into or was sure that they were going to go somewhere, lose the strength and their momentum and their abilities, getting looked at sideways, but now he can't focus, can't make money, can't get creative, can't communicate. This is how opportunities and doors or treasures that people come across to put them on new paths or give them new ideas or show new ways to keep going with are being picked up and removed. So when he's going and searching, right, for new ways to get his life back together, there's nothing. It's been picked up and moved. It's like, oh shit, someone already took that idea. I can't do it. They probably most likely knew that without holding a job, you can't have a place, right? So no home, Wheel of Fortune, no money. And they probably were banking on mental health and stability as well. Okay. But they're all in reverse, meaning it's been attempted. It probably had some effect on them, but it's not completed. It didn't sustain. It didn't stay. It didn't keep them in that motion. Here we have the One of Swords, so there's definitely some backstabbing going on. There's definitely plans being made behind someone's back. There is definitely things being done that would cause somebody disbelief and heartbreak. They probably, with this card here following next, this would tell me that there was a scenario that was put in place to cause some type of split, leaving this masculine confused or stuck in his head. See, got a picture of her down there. Then you have the photo album, and then sleep, and then daydreaming. So this person is stuck, right? Doesn't know where to go. And these women are over here celebrating because they're seeing this stagnancy. They're seeing the life fall apart. There's no home. Okay. There's no relationship. There's no money. While they're stealing it. Okay. They're taking it. They're taking the momentum from this person. Here they're trying to stop communication between this man here and this woman. Okay, so there has obviously been some sort of separation that has happened. Now, that card that I read earlier said that there was going to be a change that would leave somebody uncertain. That could be what has happened. But, okay, this feminine here is a lot more smarter and advanced than these people have realized. Okay. Her letters, her writing, her texting, whatever, may not be getting to him. But guess what? She is a creator. She is creative. She is also very well in tuned and has her own spirit team. And so each person on that team has had a job, given a job to relay these messages to this person, whether it be flat out written out or through emotions, through awakening, through alignment. She because this female is so in touch with her team and spirituality, she is already well aware of what it is that they wanted her to become, how they wanted her to be affected, and that was to go crazy, to go mad, right? Delusional. But unfortunately here we have somebody who is very well connected to the moon. Okay. And we have dual water signs here. So there's already an automatic tie bond. And then we have, she is also one that divine has given the ability to perform miracles, magic. This female here, is somebody that doesn't do magic on others. With the magician card, right? She's not doing magic on others. What she's doing is using her magic to bring her team to life, in order to relay this information to her, in order to show her how to move, in order to show her what is the best way to portray what needs to be shown to this person so that they can understand what has been happening. When we get to the energy cards here, somebody has the hand of Fatima. So somebody is already holding on to bloodline, right? Abilities, bloodline foresight, a seer. We have the septagram. This person is able to manipulate energy, okay? But not in a negative way. They are doing this in a very positive way. The reason why they are able to do this is because they have done the work. They have not had a straight line that they've walked. They have gone forward, gone backwards, and regressed, learned from that, and then, moved ahead again. They have also learned that how do I say this? They have also learned that if they don't keep their vibration high, okay, and they don't keep things positive, and they don't keep their mind on finding a solution instead of thinking everything's an ending, they wouldn't be able to create a structure where their energy is able to be constantly moving and pinging, as opposed to here, right? Once it hits down here, there's nowhere for it to go. So that's like somebody who's going insane because they're doing the same movement over and over again, right? Here, there's so many ways to move, so many areas that you can ping and take your energy to, that it can't be stagnant. It won't. We have Mars in reverse, so somebody is really trying very hard to put this male figure in a negative space. These people could actually all be trying to coexist, either in the same environment or same friends group or same work. Either way, these people are around each other quite often, and you have some that are I wouldn't say religious or spiritual, but some that are good-hearted, right? But then you have others that have that mask on, that are trying to portray to be that way, but they're not. here we have the snake. So there is a viper. There is a very vicious snake that has found its mate. And these two snakes have been trying very hard to harness this light being's energy before they reach their end goal of illuminating and waking up this divine male. This person, this female or male, somebody here is aware of these snakes, okay? And they are aware of the effect, so vibration, music, sound. This is how, or this is a technique that they use to keep these snakes from really sinking their teeth in and making them sick. We have Jupiter. So somebody, their ruling planet here, is helping them. Okay. Their ruling planet is protecting them, is really, fighting for them, to push through the hardships that they've been encountering. We have a Pisces here. So like I said, there's water signs involved. We have Pluto here. They are trying to create a very tarnished vision of a female to this male divine masculine, because they don't want him aware of what the divine feminine is or how the divine feminine is, because once they become aware of that, they're going to realize that somebody they're close to, somebody that's raised them, is nowhere near the divine feminine and has been training and teaching other snakes to appear to be a feminine, to appear to be what they have said is a divine feminine, but are not. Okay. It's a lot of info. We have Venus here. Again, they're really trying to say that it don't matter. Okay. We have Pluto and Venus. It don't matter if you are related to them. It don't matter if it is your mother, your sister, your friend, your girl. It don't matter if it's an older woman, younger woman. They're all pieces of shit, is what they're trying to teach. They did attempt to brainwash this person. Okay. And I wouldn't put it past them to try hypnosis techniques. Now, the hypnosis doesn't necessarily have to be somebody put you to sleep. Hypnosis technique could be that they talk in your ear while you're asleep, okay, and you don't know they're doing it. So there's definitely brainwashing and hypnosis that was attempted on this person. Right now, the person that is helping this male see what things really have been their whole life, that they haven't been aware of, or that they have been kept from seeing. They are trying to affect this person's throat chakra so that they can't talk, and as well as block their third eye so that they can't see any more than what they've already seen, because they are already starting to see this shift in this masculine, meaning they're all pretty upset that too much information has already been revealed to him. And they may not be seeing a difference or are just now seeing a difference after having this person around for so long. And that's because even though they could have been shown this stuff, it still takes a moment for the mind to process it, right? To accept it, and then to sit back and watch for the evidence come across them again so that they can say, this is what was shown to me, and they are correct because it's happening again. All right, so we are going to do the Nordic cards here, okay? And got a strong pull on that because I have a feeling that the divine masculine that I am pulling on today has some Viking bloodline rooted in them, okay? Here we have the Omniscient Advisor Council. So in the universe, there is a council. We call them aliens or Arcturians, whatever, okay? Whatever you want to call it, however you want to believe it, there's a council energy, okay? And this council has been keeping an eye on this divine masculine and divine feminine, okay? They have noticed the mindfulness, the lightness, and the impermanence that this divine masculine and feminine have been displaying, meaning they have taken in the information they were taught, they have made themselves aware, and they have actively made attempts to make changes and learn from it, right? They also have noticed that this divine masculine and feminine have been aware of the dark fog that has been put over them, okay? For them to for the divine feminine and divine masculine to know that there is a dark fog that has been put over them, okay, which prohibits your eyesight and movement. Instead of chopping it up to bad luck, they've went on ahead and dug a little deeper into these two individuals. What they're finding here is feminine intellect. So this feminine is sharing the things that she is finding out about, okay, and she is trying to not just share the wisdom that she's finding, but help this person maneuver these situations that they weren't aware that they were in. We have reconciliation. So there could have been a split between these two people, a breakup, or a move, maybe a distance put between them. Something happened with the communication between these two. These two stopped really, I wouldn't say stopped dealing with each other, but I guess maybe pulled back, okay? So because of that pullback, the council sat back and waited and watched what that pullback was doing, okay? That pullback led to a split. The council does not want that split happening. The council does not want the divine feminine to leave the divine masculine because they are teaching each other, okay? They are keeping each other soft-hearted, open-hearted, and continuing to upgrade each other, right? So they ordered reconciliation between the two. There is a doorkeeper now that sits with these two, and this doorkeeper is responsible for navigating these two on their path. What I am telling you is happening in present time. All right. There is much wisdom that is being given to these two people, whether it be by download, or whether it be by life experiences, or just belief. Either way, there is a bunch of wisdom between these two people here. The council is giving this couple reassurance and protection. Okay, letting them know that that can be found between these two people and each other, but as well from the realm. And also, they're wanting them to know that as long as they can keep the ambition and drive going with each other, okay, they're going to see great things form. And this council is going by the rule of 3. So they most likely have thrown at least 3 major situations at this couple to see how they maneuver it, how they work through it, and where they end up afterwards, right? And so this council has made an informed decision on this couple, and this couple's reconciliation is a part of that informed decision. So, as a tarot reader for however many years, 5-6 years, I see comments on other videos where people are constantly talking about, oh, divine feminine, divine feminine. Well, guess what, guys? Here is your crossroad with these tarot videos, because the divine masculine is now being introduced, and he's coming in full on headstrong, and he is going to be showing up side by side in all these readings with the divine feminine now, okay? Because his energy is being activated as we speak. We have the last of the cards that I'm going to pull out on this read. We're ending with the ancestors. Here, the ancestors are showing that somebody went to a hidden location, okay? And while they were at this hidden location, someone's perception was changed. The perception of the sovereign was changed. So, a male could have been looking for his divine feminine who took off. Okay, divine feminine, while gone, that situation's perception changed. Okay, the ancestors are here showing that while this split happened, there was ancestry DNA activated in these two. Okay, there was a promise made, okay, that justice is going to be served for what has been done to both of these people. Because as we are going to start seeing, the divine masculine's life is probably going to mirror or be so similar to how this divine feminine grew up, that it's almost like twinning, kindred soul type thing. Okay, so there's a massive justice that is going to be given to these two because of the amount of spiritual theft, physical theft, mental theft, emotional theft, okay, negligence, abuse that has been done. Here, the reason that these two hold in play is the self-care and the wholesome, okay? This is genuinity between them and leadership that is getting put in place for these two to take action in together. The divine masculine's player card is in reverse, meaning he is in the process of turning in his player card. Okay, this split, whatever the ancestry DNA activation has done to change the perception that he has had on the sovereign woman, is making him finally willing to turn in that player card. And it is also, when that player card is turned in, it's also going to break the chains of any spell work, dark magic, dark arts, anything that has been placed on this masculine to allow this brainwashing, this hypnosis, this mind control to have happened. Okay, and then we're going to see this divine masculine come with the act of love here and now, very genuine soul to the divine feminine. Okay, so that's what I had for you today, and please don't forget to check out my other videos. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment if you want a personal reading. Check out the description box. My email is in there. And you guys have a good rest of your day.